Good Tuesday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age YouTube channel that talks about all my cars and trucks and SUVs, the motorcycles, the kid, popcorn, the dogs, the weather. Wow. Hey, good Tuesday morning there. Thanks for tuning my channel. If you're a regular and anybody there new, I do morning conversations where I just kind of talk about my addictions, my antics, the state of the times, the attitudes, and the traveling, family, all that stuff. So as always, good morning there. Hope everybody's having a great, beautiful day. And I'm down here in Florida right now and kind of change it up from my regular morning conversations as my throat is crackling as I try to get going today, because you're the first I'm actually talking to. So just kind of getting going here. The kid, popcorn and the kid, they've gone to get breakfast. And I'm here drinking out my new Bells shirt, new Bells shoes. I'm down here getting the Florida look, and it's actually cool. But I got my new Bells coffee cup. You get stuff at a pretty good deal there at Bells. If you don't know who they are, it's just a local merchant store that has all your clothes and shoes, and usually pretty good deals and discounted. So anyways, what is the view today? And the view is actually kind of chilly. Right now it's very breezy and it's not really warm, but up north you would be like, wow, it's really warm out, because it's warm, considering that it's the winter months. If you have 50, 60 degree weather up north, so that's pretty cool. But down here you get spoiled. You get all the humidity and the humidity and the hot weather, and then it just cools down a little bit. And you're like, brr, it's cold. So anyways, what is the view today? And I thought to myself, what would be a great conversation today is we'll take the noun view, and you could take that word to mean many different things, being that we all have a view of life, meaning you have opinions, ideas, and then you have a view, like me right now. You're looking at a totally different view from where I live up north, where I'm in this retirement community somewhat. It is changing, though. It's interesting in how the view of this neighborhood, I think, will change in the future. I just really think that we're in a change of times, and what I mean by that is this is mostly older people live in these homes, but believe it or not, slowly 30-year-olds and 40-year-olds are buying these homes in these what you really think is retirement community. And I think that's because it's the affordability part of to be able to buy a home. Because believe it or not, these homes are selling for $500,000, $600,000. And down here in Florida, if you ride around with me and my brother, you'll see, you go to other neighborhoods and you're paying $700,000, $800,000 for homes. So I really think that it's going to be interesting to see how this type of neighborhood transforms itself to a whole different view of seeing younger people instead of older people. I really think that is going to play out over the next 10, 20 years just because of home affordability. And at the same time, this is just a really nice neighborhood, and it really has some pluses to it. But at the same time, for me, it has too many minuses to it because it's an HOA-controlled environment. And as I talked about, the trees, why these people that developed this put in these trees and just trash the neighborhood on a 24/7 basis. And you can already hear in the background all the weed, the blowers. You know, these guys come out here and cut the grass. But this time of year, the grass kind of slows down on that aspect. But really what happens is just the total trashing of the trees. It just doesn't end. So these guys are out here at least 3 days out of the week, if not 4 or 5, just cleaning up all the loose debris. So anyway, so the view, you know, how does the view, what is your view, right? Or what are you looking at this morning versus what I'm looking at? And then for up north, the view you see all the time is a ton of cars and trucks and motorcycles, which is my property, which, yeah, like I'm going to have that capability down here. No, but believe it or not, so many years ago, I just about bought a piece of property, which I should have. I so regret not going forward on that. So I had a really good deal on a piece of property in Tarpon Springs, Florida. If you're a Florida person, you know Tarpon Springs is a cool area, but it wasn't really the nicest of a neighborhood. But I had a great deal on 2 lots for 1 home. And wow, why didn't I move forward in that back in 2018? Because that property would be worth double what I paid for it today. I could have picked up a nice piece of property for like $560,000. And it was going to be a custom built 3,600 square foot home with a nice detached garage. It was going to be like basically a 5-car garage setup. Why I didn't do it, I'm a fool. But, you know, it isn't always simple, as all people know. Married, decisions, financial commitments. But the irony is, if I would have done that, then 2020 sat in, and the whole pandemic thing came in. And what was the worldview then? Besides you having to huddle down, and you couldn't go anywhere, and I'd have been like, wow. But I could have rented the place out, maybe, who knows. Anyway, so here's the view down here in Florida, and those that watch my channel, you see the Harleys, and wow. And I'm really getting a lot of reviews on the new Reinhardt DBX. So some people are reaching out and saying, what are those mufflers? So right here it is. It's the Reinhardt DBX 45, 4.5 inch CVO 17 plus, $874.95. I got a little discount off of that from those guys, and I think they sound great. But a lot of guys' views are, why the hell didn't you put the head pipe on? And here is the meeting of the evening with my father and my daughter, who's hang out, and they have these silly conversations. And anybody watched my channel, I did a popcorn granddaughter little meeting last night as they hung out, and they do their silly antics and conversations. And my daughter just loves my father and all his ideas and views and his silliness. But anyway, so over here on the so you can watch that video if you want. I did publish that last night. But so here's the thing. So a lot of you are saying, dude, why wouldn't you put a frickin' whole head pipe? Well, here's the thing. I don't know. I mean, I'm not really that. This is a brand new bike. I mean, only had this thing now, coming up in maybe 3 weeks. And, you know, that's going to be a $3,000 project. I mean, it just starts adding up. You know, $3,000 here. Let's do this on this bike. $3,000 here. Let's do it over here on this bike. $2,500 over there. Let's do it. I mean, you know, it just starts multiplying. I have one motorcycle. Yeah, a lot more things probably would happen to it. But here's the thing. This thing has plenty of power. Right now with the Reinhardts, this thing sounds sweet. I love it. It's great. I'm happy. Do I need to have another bunch of horsepower underneath this thing? I don't. This thing is plenty fast, just the way it is. But the biggest thing is, I'll be interested to hear somebody reach out and say, hey, there is a head pipe tune kit that Harley-Davidson will stand behind it, and the dealer will stand behind it. So if that 121 motor blows up, you don't have to buy that motor. I'd love to hear the comments from somebody out there and say, yeah, there's a head pipe. Take out the, you know, I would consider that. Take out the Cadillac inverter. And the dealer will stand behind that motor, even though Harley-Davidson and all the big manufacturers' views are changing because of the EPA, the Green Agenda guidelines that are forcing all these manufacturers to tame it down on the, apparently, one of the YouTubers out there didn't see the video, but he's presenting a video that for the HD market, the aftermarket fun stuff is going to all disappear. That Harley-Davidson, I don't know. How much the video... It's like the Blip guy or something like that. He does a lot of short videos, but I think it's all about Harley-Davidson totally pulling back on the performance end of modifying motorcycles from the factory way they're set up, because their views are changing. Why are their views changing? I've talked about this like a zillion times on my channel. I'm sure some people are just sick of hearing the damn crap. It's the Ice Age versus the EV age. It's the Ice Age versus the freaking Green Agenda age. It's, you know, and it's really, really bad. It's really bad where you get these people, they get all motivated and get all paid and get all revved up, and they pound their fists in these major corporations, and they force these manufacturers to bend to the agenda, or they're going to be fined and thrown in prison, and the list goes on, and harassed, and there's social media. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So, and if you think that's not factual, then you're just not in tune with the reality of life. That I've talked about this in great length in my videos about the Green Agenda, how much money they have, how many organizations they have in this world, and they have billions of dollars to go shut down the Ice Age. And they're working on it diligently as fast as possible as they can. They're not making the success as fast as they think they can, and it's starting to kind of show that if you kind of really stay in tune to how the people are taking in the EVs, which they're per se, they are, but per se they're not. And it's very confusing. There's so many different views of what's going on in society, in our country. It's really bad. I mean, it really is. Really dig into looking into information which I do. I mean, I woke up last night multiple times. And that's why I came up with this theme this morning of the View conversation, because we're at a division in our country like never seen, even the world, of our views of what the future of this Mother Earth planet is going to be because of our behaviors of what we do and how we operate. And it's a total split of one person believes that, you know, what we're doing to the world is a total disgrace and we should be ashamed of ourselves. And another view is you don't know what the hell you're talking about. And Mother Nature is bigger than you realize. And we're going to get through this. And in the end, you don't have all the answers. But the other person has all the answers because they get scientific numbers to make them believe all the answers. And what blows me away is we have all the people out there. Back to the Preter View, right? Let's look at the Preter View of the CVOST, Fast Johnny. I mean, here's the Fast Johnny logo, but this is supposed to be the real Fast Johnny. What's that all about? I mean, sincerely, what is that all about? Where Harley Davidson took the little Fast Johnny theme to the CVOST when so many of us here thought this was just the Enthusiast Collection. See here, Enthusiast Collection. Here is the 25th anniversary CVO edition, ST. And here's the breakout. One of my subscribers, Mr. Sanchez, he probably saw the video yesterday, if you're watching my channel, where I'm in the house working, and I hear this big crash. And as time passed, I came out here, and this whole wall unit came crashing down. And it came very close. My daughter's bike was parked differently. Had it been parked like this, we'd probably have some issues here with this bike of being damaged. Anyways, I cleaned up all this here, but I think one of my subscribers watching on how that whole rack system fell down and we lucked out with no damage, he now sees the bicycles hanging up here and he's thinking, whoa, here we go. You know, here's this bicycle that's going to fall down on my breakout. Well, that bicycle's been up there for many, many years. Don't disagree. Probably wise to get it off the wall. It is Murphy's Law. That would be a total bummer. So maybe that's a project today to get the bicycle down. So, Mr. Sanchez, I take that comment, and I think you've got a good point. So maybe I need to do that. But anyways, so it's our views of ideas, our views. You know, what makes one person's view think the Harley Davidson is such a beautiful motorcycle, but yet another person's view is these things are junk. On my YouTube channel, I've had so many people reach out and badass bikes, awesome bike, congratulations, but then I'll have a select few, they're junk, they're the biggest, you know, they're the worst. Why the hell would you buy a Harley Davidson? So it's just the different views of what one person perceives to be something great, another person perceives to be junk. But why is that? And it's usually, typically, it's stories. Is it actual their own experience? Some, yes. Some will actually have had really bad experiences. Hey, I'm an Indian guy. I mean, if you watch my channel, I've had a lot of Indian motorcycles. You've kind of seen me transition away from Indian back to Harley. Why is that? It's just me for different flavor, different taste, different ride. And I just like the Harley Davidson brand. The dealership, I think, the dealership infrastructure of Harley is so much more fun. The camaraderie, the groups, this is so much more the plus of the Harley Davidson over the Indian motorcycle. The Indian motorcycle, it's more of the multi-brand products. And in the multi-brand products, you walk in the dealership and you have them actually, you know, you're looking at different brands of motorcycles, and it is dedicated to Indian. It's just a different atmosphere. And nothing wrong with Indian, because I own the Indians, great bikes, but it's a view. Once again, and there's many Indian owners that'll probably never ever buy a Harley bike, and there's many Harley guys that never buy Indians. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry, man. We get all that. I think most people get that. What's the view conversation? Well, the view conversation is on how we, in today's society, I think, are being misled more than ever. We truly are in a society of the media machine, which most people know, is distracting us from what's really going on. Do you realize that right now, this country is pumping the most domestic oil ever in our country? Do you know that? Do you realize that we're at now 13.5 million barrels? We are now at 13.5 million barrels of domestic oil production today. It's the highest level in recent times. Is it that they're claiming it's the highest level ever? So even for me, if you think this Joe Biden guy shutting down the oil capacity, you're wrong. He's not. It's smoke and mirrors that this guy Joe Biden, and that's why I talk about my channel all the time. It's incredible on how the big auto, the big oil, in so many ways, they love this guy Joe Biden. Because this guy has created the wealth of wealth never seen in modern times of the big companies. Look at the military defense contractors. Does anybody connect the dots that this Ukraine war is a huge money machine for all the Northrop Grumman, whatever, all these different companies that supply missiles and military warfare to Ukraine at the taxpayers' expense? If you're a defense contractor, you love this guy Joe Biden, you love the Democratic Party because they want to continue to fund wars. So you're enriching yourself like never seen in modern times. I mean, it just doesn't get talked about. It does in little content, but it doesn't get a lot of exposure. But once again, yes, oil right now in this country, we are producing and shipping and exporting the most amount of oil ever. That's what the claim is. It could be wrong, but that's what you're seeing in articles. And this was written back in December of last year, that this country is at the highest level of domestic oil production, natural gas production. So the oil energy sector is having a blast with Joe Biden. But so many people think Joe Biden is shutting down oil. He's not. He just opened up the Willow National Park in Alaska for oil drilling, which that was a major contentious fight with all the Green Agenda people of not wanting Alaska's pretty environment, and everything being touched. The Joe Biden administration approved for now oil drilling in Alaska, and there's even another one they're working on to open up. I mean, it's so bad, so bad. Listen to these guys. These guys. This is what you listen to when you come to these homeowner stations. I mean, for me, there's no way. There's no way. There's just no way. This stuff goes on all day long. Yes. These trees just trash and trash and trash. These guys had this street, I'm not lying, spotless clean last night by 4 o'clock. It's not even 24 hours later, and look at the streets already. Oh my gosh. So anyways, why I'm saying that, you probably hear a lot of noise behind me. So once again, if you're a Democratic person and you're a Republican person, you have two different views. Well, a Democratic person feels so strongly that Joe Biden is on this green agenda mission, which he is. But at the same time, he's not. He's still letting the fossil fuel industry enrich itself like never ever seen. So many very active green agenda activists aren't happy because Joe Biden really isn't doing what he says he's doing. And it really makes a lot of people mad. I mean, just beyond believable. That noise there may have to go inside, because even for me talking, you can probably hear this thing like you can't believe. And what's incredible is there is a perfect example of these HOAs are trying to shut down these ice blowers and weed whackers and lawnmowers, where you got to go to the electric battery-powered Still stuff. I have actually looked into this stuff. So Still makes these battery-powered. These things are very expensive. And you have to buy a lot of batteries and have a whole trailer set up to be constantly charging batteries. But I'll be amazed that some HOA activists back here doesn't persuade the next contract that's signed for all the, taking care of this property back here is mandated and forced, like in California, to get rid of these gas-run powered machines. And as I said before yesterday, it's incredible. The guy had a vision of this neighborhood 30 plus years ago that designed it, that thought this was going to be just a great thing for the view of people who come here and have these trees that destroy the neighborhood. They destroy the sewer systems. All these leaves get into these, all these French, they call them something here, the French drains that are in the back of your yard. This goes on and on and on and on. So what are the views? What are my views? Down here, very challenging because of fighting the frickin' weed whacker guy. Where's the kid and popcorn, right? Oh my gosh. More coffee. And, it's interesting. People reach out to my channel. Getting a lot of new people, thank goodness. The channel's growing, thank goodness. A lot of time, a lot of work. I enjoy it, as you know. But a lot of people just don't really know me as well as other long-term YouTubers. Like one guy was saying, all you do is make videos you buying cars or trucks or something. I'm like, yeah, I mean, to a degree, but you actually watch like my morning conversation. I mean, you actually, watch 5 days out of the week. I do like 30 to 40 minute plus video trying to bring content to others, to share information to others, share knowledge to others, which then people in turn share knowledge to me. And so where's that conversation? But I get it. It's the eye candy. That's how we are. When I post short 30-second, 1 minute short videos of seeing a really badass truck or car or motorcycle, that intrigues people to watch that, and that's what brings people to know who I am. But at the same time, if that person doesn't really do much research on my channel, they think it's all about me just showing another car and truck and motorcycle. And yes, last year, some will remember, there was a very long time out of me buying things. I mean, I literally just kind of shut down the buying cars and trucks and motorcycles. And for my business, it becomes a slower time of year. Yes, the worst time of the year for my business really is the February, March, April. I have about a 3-4 month lull in my business. And so, it's kind of becomes a little bit more challenging, and it kind of makes you scratch your head. Is it worth buying something else? Because this is not a cheap hobby. It's a very expensive hobby, and it's very, in so many ways, it's risky. I know that. People talk about that all the time. But I'm just being truthful and honest and upfront to others of my antics of what I do. And yes, right, I agree. Crazy. It's crazy in some of the things I do. And that brings up the Ford F-450 truck conversation, where right now I did get finalized the deal on that Ford F-450 silver truck down there at Carl Flamer Ford. And I don't know, I've got mixed feelings because that Ford Power Boost is taking such a huge hit on, it really isn't taking a huge hit. The problem is it's a vehicle that last year I bought, and for the most part it was MSRP, which was like $84,000, I believe. And then I traded something. I traded back the Raptor in, so I brought in negative numbers to the truck. But here it is now, not even a year later. I haven't even made probably but 10 payments on it, maybe 11. And now I'm trading it back in, and they're up now to about 64 grand trade on the truck. So from suggested retail to trade, that's 20 grand difference. But you know as well as I do, in the real world of buying a truck right now, the challenge is you're going to get 7-8 grand off a Power Boost truck. You may get 10 grand off. So a guy goes out and buys a brand new Power Boost now, like I bought. The view now is from the car market, from the consumers, that the whole view of the be so lucky to get a car has all changed, because the manufacturing is finally caught up with the demand, and so now there's lots of trucks in the market. So what's that do for anybody who has a vehicle that paid full suggested price? A year later, they're getting killed, because not only did it devalue, but now a person can buy the same vehicle for much less money than you paid for it. So that variable throws into my equation. The truck should have been sold to me maybe for like 78, 76, maybe 74, maybe. Okay, so for the individual like me, it trades my truck back in. The dealership is only going to go like 64, because they know that if they have to put it in the market and a guy wants to buy a brand new one, does he pay 68 for mine, for a used one with like, what it has like 11,000 miles on it? And so that's where the, and that's where the view of an individual comes to be, is what makes sense for all of us. For all of us here, you have a view of what makes sense on buying something new versus used. Meanwhile, I'm on a used 22 F450, and the only thing that makes sense about the deal is that I'm getting a 2022 Platinum truck with 4,000 miles on it. It's an Iceman's truck, where it's a guy that bought it, barely used it, and they're charging me 93 grand for the truck. Versus if I go and buy a brand new one, the Platinum truck is going to be about 109. So there's right there a spread of basically $16,000. So for me, if I really want an F450 truck, the numbers make sense in some ways, because I have a truck that is lost a lot of value, but at the same time, I can borderline get a brand new F450 truck, and if I just say, okay, I don't want that truck, I'm going to sit it out, and I pay another year's worth of payments on my Ford F-150 Power Boost, and I come back to the table and buy a 2024 leftover or whatever, the challenge is going to be, if I'm still paying like 105 to 109 grand for a new one, I'm still going to be in that negative equity position on my truck. But at the end of the day, I'm still going to be paying, in some ways, the same amount of money as I'm paying for this truck right now. So it's kind of a hard decision because it's a lot of money. And Ford Motor Credit will only go 60 months on the deal. So that kind of pushes the payment, which I don't really like. So we're still kind of negotiating on that. And anybody here on my channel will be like, yeah, but here's something I don't know about. So my salesman's telling me my truck now has something going on. There's a busted lug nut or something. I tried to call a service guy, and I have not been able to get a hold of him. My truck has something busted in the rear end. What is that all about? I don't even know. So the truck's actually, per se, out of commission. And is that because I towed with a 12,000-pound trailer with the truck and I haul ass in it? Is it because I trailered the 8,000-pound motorcycle trailer and I haul ass in it? Is that what's... I mean, I don't know. I haven't been able to get a hold of the service guy, Christian, down there to find out more of the details. But then a part of me is like, oh, that's great to know that this F-150 truck that, you know, I'm going to use, which I enjoy towing with that truck, but not so much after the... if you're watching my channel and you view the videos and you see I'm getting 5.8 miles per gallon, and wow, I just can't believe it. That's the worst gas mileage to date of any vehicle I've ever owned. So anyways, about the views, our views, what are your views on and here's the thing, we go back to, this is the election year and the hate of the hate of the hate. So on X, the propaganda machine is through the roof. The propaganda machine is through the roof of the hate of the MAGA, the conservatives, the Donald Trump supporters. It's through the roof. It's all day long. It's like there's a whole gang on X that is constantly talking about the conservative people in a very negative way. And so what is that going to do? What's it going to do for this election year? But here's what's really concerning to me, and should be very concerning to all here. And it's unfortunate these crooked politicians that have been elected by, in so many ways, the Democratic Party. Not saying Republicans don't have crooked politicians, they do. But right now in New York City, Massachusetts, California, there's like, I think, Washington, D.C., right now, they have passed state laws to allow illegal immigrants to vote in state elections. Did you just hear that? The state of New York, Washington, D.C., I think maybe even Maryland, California, maybe like Connecticut, trash truck. I mean, it just doesn't end. As far as that's not electric, that's where it's all going to go. I mean, in some ways, you can't argue, you can't disagree that, you know, the noise, it doesn't just drive you nuts. Yeah, in some ways it'd be better to have battery packs in some ways. This thing's not too bad. And these guys come through. These guys come through 3 times, if not 4 times a week, because they have twice a week trash pickup. Here comes my brother. This would be classic. Yeah. So all that you thinking that I'm noisy? Oh my gosh! Here comes my brother, which I don't know why he's here this early this morning, but it's for my mother as well, because I'm taking care of my mother, and that's a lot of work. Anybody here thinks that I'm just having a kickback doing nothing? No, there's a lot going on here for my mother, who's needs a lot of help, and she's gonna be she's already turned 91. Anyway, so here's what's crazy is the state elections. My brother comes over and helps my dad, helps my mother, which is really great. I've been blessed to have my 2 sisters and brother down here to help take care of my mother and father, because if it wasn't for that, then, you know, for me it would be very challenging. If anybody has to have any type of home assistance health, let's throw that in the trash can. Yeah. No. Why don't I smell it? Why don't I smell it? Well, that's disgusting. Let's get it over here. Hey, throw it over here and let's rinse it out. My brother. Sounds like a dead animal. Jesus. Hey, put it over there. We'll rinse it out. I'll rinse it out. I'll rinse it out later. You see, it turns into the, you know, there you go. That's good. I'll take care of it. We'll have Julia do that. Ugh, yuck. Morning, man. How are you? Yeah, see, there you go. There's the attitudes, right? Yeah, the view, right? So the opposite brothers. You have no idea. My brother and I, in so many ways, we're so opposite. We're so much alike, but in so many ways, we're so opposite. That's what I grew up with. Yes. Anyways, so it's so bad with the state election. So some people are like, who cares, Iceman? Who gives two craps if this frickin' state of New York wants to just destroy their frickin' city? Who cares? Who cares if D.C.? Well, you should care. Do you know what the Electoral College is? Do you understand how the general election, when you re-elect a president or you elect a new president every 4 years? Do you actually understand how it works? It's by how many electoral votes come from each state. Hello, everybody. So these states are trying to get as many illegal immigrants to go all Democrat to have the power of the Electoral College. Hello. This is going on. This is real stuff. So the demise of our country is happening more than ever. But people are like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Screw that stuff. I'll just move to Florida. Yeah, I'll just leave New York. I live in California. Screw this stuff. Instead of going to fight in the legislature, screw that, man. I ain't doing that. I'm just going to move to Florida. I'll just move to some conservative state that'll be conservative for a while until the other guys show up and ruin those laws. I mean, it's going on like never seen. It's so bad. And how are these people being elected? Well, here it is. I just said it. The illegals are going to take domination over the Democratic Party because the illegals are getting paid to live here on the taxpayer's dollar. I mean, as far as seeing really could happen for New York, a mass exodus of New York City of all the people that work and pay the taxes. Then where's the money coming from? I mean, in all sincereness, yeah, but is that going to happen? It's not going to happen. There's too many wealthy people, too many people making money. I mean, come on, think it through. If you're a hotel operator, you're loving this ballgame. If you're a guy that owns a bunch of homes up there to a degree, are you getting paid by the state government now to rent out your properties? I mean, is it more lucrative? I don't know. There's a lot of variables in that, and that even gets heavy and deep, and meaning that there's so many laws that are being passed to run landlords out of their homes and let the big guy take them over because of all these. But anyways, that's it. Long video. Not even down here in Florida. My brother just brought that garbage can up. That thing reeks. I mean, it now smells like a dead animal in my garage. Hey, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate that, So anyways, there it is. Kind of leave it at that. And it's a 32-minute video. Did I do okay? Did I do all right? And do I buy the F450? I don't know. In all sincereness, I'd be better off taking something else and trading for it, not taking the equity hit on that vehicle. At the same time, the payments will be different. The F450 will be more, but you just have to say to yourself, you know as well as I do, if I get that F450 and I keep it a year.
I'm going to go work today.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to work all day.
All right. See you later. So you have to say to yourself, the F450, if I buy that truck, I mean, what's the value a year from now if I have to sell the truck? I think most of you are going to be like, it's going to be far better than that freaking F-150 Power Boost. You're right, but it's a lot of money. So, but at the same time, that's a truck there that I've had every F450, every one of them I've bought. There's no lie. I have sold the truck back for close to what I paid for the truck. So in that aspect, but I don't know. Still running numbers, still thinking about it. You'll just have to kind of stay tuned for that. And you get my Fast Johnny updated with all the accessories, the exhaust, and the highway pegs, the windscreen, saddlebag, protectors. You get all that stuff done. But my brother's going to be out working today, which that's a good thing. And there's my old Ranger truck that I bought for my dad, just so you know. And then I sold it to my brother. So people are like, get the Ranger truck. I'm like, I've had them. I've already had like 4 of those things. Yeah. And Mavericks and all that stuff. Anyways, all right, that's the view. And not the view of the whack jobs, right? I don't even watch it. But isn't like Joe Bear, Whoopi Goldberg. I'm just thinking off the tip of my tongue. I thought to myself, why would I call the channel this morning The View? The View where all the nutcases get on television every day and run their mouths. And they just talk garbage and just talk no sense. I mean, sincerely. And people tune into this stuff and they just love this stuff. Oh my gosh. The demise. I truly believe that we live in a society where people love to see love to see the negativity and the demise of society. I'm not lying. Anyways, that's it. It's negative sometimes, and sometimes it's positive. But stay tuned for the ongoing adventures of the F450, the F150. I'll make some more videos. We'll find out what's wrong with the F150 truck. And there you go. So I got to go to work myself, take care of some business, and keep things in order up north. And once again, God bless, stay safe, and have a great day.